Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, so we are doing this data meeting in preparation for Friday's deep dive in the ANET data. And I'm not going to be here on Friday, but I know that you're going to dive deeper into the 17 questions that they had. I just want to say overall, students showed a strong foundation of understanding of the Common Core B8, which they all scored. Like they scored 52%. Of them have mastery. So I wanted to also highlight how well you adjusted to ensure administration went well, the materials were well organized, students had high investment in the ANET assessment, and effort on just full multiple choice and open response completion. You can tell that that's set up in that investment that is exciting for the growth that we'll have for the quarter. So I wanted to say thank you on that. In September we had a PD to prepare for ANET, and I want to know, how did you feel our preparation helped you prepare students for the test?
I felt good about it. I've worked with ANET before, so I was a little familiar. I wasn't sure how much it had changed, but I think overall just preparing students, getting them invested in letting them know how important this test is, and letting them know that although they're not getting a grade, that it is tied into, you know, their trajectory in terms of what math courses they take in the future, and just knowing that they need to really show what they've learned so far.
Well, thank you. It definitely paid off. So I wanted to say thank you for doing some pre-work to unpack the standard. So we're looking at standard, excuse me, we're looking at standard A2, which represent transformation in the plane using transparency and geometry software. Describe transformations as functions that take points in the plane as inputs and give other inputs as outputs. Compare transformations that preserve distance and angles to those that do not. So example, translations versus a horizontal stretch. So you've done some pre-work unpacking the standard. So what do students have to know and show to show mastery?
So some of the things that
I'm going to get up here and chart it, since we both have some things so we can.
Some of the things that I thought that they definitely needed to know are how to graph a horizontal and a vertical line in the coordinate plane.
Okay, you said how to graph
horizontal and vertical lines in the coordinate plane. Where exactly the x and the y axis are located on the plane. Definitely knowing prime notation. So knowing what comes after that pre-image. Knowing how to translate, reflect, or rotate a figure. Knowing the different directions in terms of rotating clockwise or counterclockwise, and using that patty paper and how many times you have to turn for each degree.
Okay.
Using the, reflections in terms of mapping notation. So knowing where exactly a figure would map on to another figure. As well as composition, just knowing which figure to perform the second rigid motion.
Let me check my no chart. Another thing I would add for the no, and I'll just write it over here, is knowing that angle measurements and side lengths will be preserved under any rigid motion. So Something else for the no. We have pre-image and image. I think you said that, yeah. Understanding the effects of transformation, that's pretty much that. And what is a function?
Yep.
Yeah, everything else, what do you have to say? All right, and for the show?
For the show, I said understanding the 3 transformations. I think that might actually be able to go back under
The no.
but yeah.
Like the transformations? I can put that in. Because I had this here, understand effects of transformations. This is huge.
The skill of being able to show that if x equals a number, that's a vertical line, and if y equals a number, then that's a horizontal line.
So the skill of vertical with y and horizontal with x. Being able to show that, like when they get x equal equation, being able to graph that. Okay, got it.
I feel like the next thing that I wrote was probably already said under the no, but knowing the image and any consecutive image have prime notation, so that would go back to like that prime notation.
This could be a show as well.
Okay.
Like them being able to mark it.
Gotcha.
Like with like A prime, B prime.
Gotcha. Okay.
So A prime, something like that. That's the example. So we'll remember when we go back to it.
Okay. And then how to trace the figure and transfer it with the given transformation.
Okay. I have same thing, how to graph horizontal and vertical lines. How to, I think this is probably what you were talking about, like understanding the effects of transformation and just how to actually translate, reflect, and rotate in the coordinate plane. So how, pretty much. I'm just go ahead and say delete. Transformation, plane. Being able to show that you can apply that rule to any point in the plane. So not just the given point, but taking the rest of the points of that
Right.
figure. And this is pretty much what I have for the show.
Cool.
All right, so we're gonna look at the problem from ANET. We selected problem number 2. So we're gonna take the time to look at the exemplar, and we can analyze the exemplar. As we're looking at it, we wanna think about what are the characteristics of the ideal answer.
Okay.
And so you have it here. And just take like a minute